What is going on, my fellow boxing fans? This is the Boxing Scholar. Let's get to this. Anthony Joshua was not impressive at all yesterday on last night's fight against Joseph Parker. He just wasn't. Now, people like to compare him to Lennox Lewis, and during Lennox Lewis's first reign, he did have some moments where he did look lackluster. Now, I don't want to compare Joshua to Lennox Lewis. I'm just saying Lennox Lewis always didn't look like Lennox Lewis. But again, yeah, Anthony Joshua did not look impressive last night. Now, that could be because Joseph Parker did way better than expected. So a little bit of credit should go to Parker for making Joshua look less than spectacular. And Parker becomes the first boxer to make it to the final bell against Joshua. Now, Joshua won by decision, though on my scorecard, I had it way closer than what the official judges had it. One judge only gave Parker 1 round. But it makes sense. The fight took place in the UK. Joshua was the man over there. And there were a lot of close and uneventful rounds. And the judges gave all those to Joshua. I scored it 116, 113 for Joshua. I had it 7 rounds to 4 and 1 round even. So I did have it closer than the official judges. And then there was the referee. Oh my God. I mean, that was one of the worst refs I've seen in a very long time. I mean, I don't want to say he was the worst ref of all time, but there were moments when both fighters were going to exchange shots and the ref jumps in the middle of the little action that actually did take place. He would not allow them to fight inside. He would not give the fighters a chance to fight their way out of a clinch. And he was like the little homie that jumps in front of 2 friends about to fight. He's like, "Stop, guys, we're supposed to be brothers." You know what I mean? So, man, it was just, and it also seemed like the ref was always looking at Parker and warning Parker for clinches or for punching during the break when there shouldn't have been a break in the first place. Parker would have his hands free, throwing body shots, and the ref would break that up. And it did affect both fighters. It affected Parker's ability to work in the inside. And it also took away Joshua's chance to land that big uppercut. He tried it a few times, and he landed a few glancing shots, but nothing too big landed. And credit for Parker for being prepared and ready for that uppercut, because he avoided and blocked a lot of them. Now, the fight was intriguing when watching it live. There was always that anticipation that a big shot from Joshua could end it, but it just never happened. It's not a fight I would want to see again for entertainment purposes. I mean, I'd see it again if I had to analyze their styles for an upcoming fight or for a prediction, but definitely not for fun. And as I said, I had it closer than the judges. I scored the first round even. Nothing really happened. Joshua was coming forward, and Parker was constantly throwing that jab, trying to keep Joshua at bay, but nothing really happened. The second round I gave to Joshua. Again, that round could have been scored even, but I did give it to Joshua. He was the aggressor, and he probably did just a tad bit more. Now, the third and fourth rounds I scored for Joshua. He just landed a bit more, nothing big, but he just did a bit more, and some shots started to become a little bit more cleaner when he did throw them. Then the next 3 rounds, rounds 5, 6, and 7, I gave to Parker. He kept throwing that jab. It started to land a bit cleaner, and Parker was letting his hands go more. And Joshua wasn't looking very comfortable, and there were times Joshua looked like he may have been stunned, though he was probably just off balance in trying to adjust to Parker's rhythm. 8th round I gave to Joshua. He upped his aggression. The 9th round I gave to Parker. He upped his aggression, and I gave him the 9th round. Then the last 3 rounds I scored for Joshua. I gave him rounds 10, 11, and 12, but they were pretty uneventful. He was just the aggressor and just did a bit more. I mean, the fight was okay. Like I said, it was intriguing to see what was happening. It was a competitive fight when a lot of people didn't think it was going to be competitive, but it wasn't a very exciting fight. But I love boxing, and I can watch some fights that can be perceived as boring to some fans. So yeah, Anthony Joshua did not look great. Even towards the end of the fight, I envisioned how the Luis Ortiz that fought Deontay Wilder, how he would do against Joshua. And I think Luis Ortiz and Joshua fight could be a competitive fight. especially since Joshua is more of a traditional boxer and not as sporadic, wild, and unpredictable as Wilder. And Ortiz would be more accustomed to fighting the more textbook style of Joshua. And I even envision how Parker would do against Ortiz. And I think that fight would be pretty good. Now, what is next for Joshua and Parker? Well, Parker is no longer undefeated, and but he'll get another fight. He's still in the heavyweight picture. He didn't get dominated. He didn't really disgrace himself. So I'd like to see what I like to see his next fight. I like to see him against Alexander Povetkin, who defeated Price in his last fight, last night actually. Dylan White, maybe even a fight against Luis Ortiz. Now, as for Joshua, I read and heard that he could make his U.S. debut later on this year against Jarrell Miller. Now, that's not a very intriguing fight. All fight fans want to see, I mean, let's be real, is Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. That is the fight fans want to see. That is the fight that the fans want to see. And I can see that happening in 2019. But I do not see that happening this year. And on top of that, Joshua, during the post-fight interview last night, didn't seem too anxious to come to the United States. And he also didn't look too anxious or interested in fighting Deontay Wilder. He even looked annoyed when Wilder's name was brought up. The same with Eddie Hearn. He looked annoyed. He looked like he didn't want to hear Wilder's name get asked. You know what I mean? So, I mean, my only guess is that they want to wait and build the fight up for next year. They are going to let them continue to call each other out, trash talk each other, and build and hype the fight up for 2019. That fight needs to happen. All right, my boxing fans. Let me know your thoughts. Comment, like the video, and if you have yet to do so, go ahead and subscribe. Until next time, goodbye and adios.
She see money all around me. I look like I'm the man. Yeah, but I was counting out like last week.